And he said, how soon can you get here? And I said, well, we're in the middle of writing our book. And he said, okay, how soon can you get here? And I said, how's a week? And he said, okay, fine. How long can you stay? I said, how about a week? He said, all right, fine. I'll see you, da-da. And that was it.
And
are you there?
Mm-hmm. And what happened? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we connected to Red Elk, and we went up to see him and worked with him. He teaching us the things that we need to know for what we have to do when we go back.
Well, now he said something about the Nigual brought you here, or how's that work?
He said that?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's what you'll have to ask him.
Uh-huh. All right. Okay, now, what special gifts did you bring back from the future with you?
What gifts?
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, I spoke to Red Elk about this because I've always thought this was odd, or at least for some time I thought this was odd, and because I have an ability to know what is true and what is not true. What Red Elk calls it discernment. He said it's one of the gifts that is mentioned in the Bible, discernment. And he said you have it. You can see things, you can understand things without being able to have the information. You already know how things fit together, or what information is correct and what is not correct, what is useful and what is not useful. Without explanation, you already know these things. And that's the way he said it to me. And that's the way I've experienced it, and I've always wondered why.
Okay, well, now what we're going to be doing is going to Red Elk, all right? And again, you want to give your name and the book and how they can find it?
If you're interested in the first book, which is called My Love, Myself, the website address is www.roots, R-O-O-T-S, of light, L-I-G-H-T.com. And Willow Rand, and Richard Graham is the other author. And you go to Books and Tapes section, and you can order it online.
All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for giving us a call. Okay, and now we're going to go to Red Elk, and we'll finish this.
Thank you for having me on.
Okay, God bless you, hon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Okay, folks, now what we're going to do is go to Red Elk, and hold on, please, 1 minute. Wrapped up with Willow, and you're live on UFO Radio.
Hi-ho.
Hi-ho, hi-ho. Off to work we go. Ho-ho-ho-ho.
Hi-ho.
Hi-ho. Okay.
Well, like I said, I couldn't hear the conversation, so...
Okay, well, it was a very interesting conversation, anyhow, and she talked about that they first learned about that they came from the future from past life regression, and then they went to New Zealand. This same person contacted them, the psychic contacted them, and said that they had heard from you, or they had heard about you, and suggested that they contact you. All right, so hold on 1 minute, please, because we got another call. Hold on. You still there? Red Elk? Okay. So anyhow, and apparently this psychic she had woke up in the middle of the night to something in her face saying, turn on the radio right now, which she did, and she heard a show that Art Bell was doing with you. And so then she remembered that, and so then she lost the signal. Well, at this point in time, the psychic realized that it wasn't a message for her, but was to Willow, so she contacted Willow. Willow contacted you. You told her what took you so long, and that's about the end of the story up until now. Okay, so brief. So anyhow, she had talked about...
I'm not a time traveler, but my Nagual has no problem going forward or back. And that's what happened originally, is my Nagual had gone way up there at her time. Pardon me. And tried to break them free of this boredom that they were in. And you and I have conversed a little bit on Willow's book. all about sex and alcoholism, which was true. This is the way it's going to end up. Because of boredom, the vast majority of the masses are going to be totally government controlled. And all they got left is to just have sex, and most of that is childless sex. And, that's just about all they can do is just lay around and have sex and go to work and do their duty, and then, but because they all are inborn with the inborn knowledge that there is a God, and that God is not anything to do with any man, man-wise, deep down in their subconscious, they know that there's something that they're missing, but they're bored and can't reach to that. So they get drunk. They just, vodka and stuff like that flows like water at that time. And at that time, the Creator is getting ready to have Earth destroyed, actually disappear. So he wants to retrieve as many children as he can. And that's what my Negro is there for. To help this man-wife team get on board and understand the Word of God. And God himself, hopefully. And they couldn't quite get it, but they're very important to the movement that God had planned, or has planned, had planned at that time, has planned at this time, to helping the masses break away from boredom. So I don't know how it happened, but he got them into a coma, and boing, here they are here. And when they die here, boing, they're out of the coma there, and with the knowledge that they retained from here, that for whatever reason they couldn't get there, they'll start some kind of a big movement. Again, not everybody in the future is bored. There's that hippie group, good old hippie group, that's got to do it their own way, and they aren't. And they don't wear deodorant, and most of them don't shave or even cut their hair. I mean, they're a scungy-looking group, and but nevertheless, they're free. Free thinkers. They're much more closer to knowing that there's a true God that exists than these boredoms who have that emotion all stifled by this, I don't know, some kind of machinery that they put on. And anyway, so that's where our great future is. Now, when Dad breaks that all loose, then will be the day of judgment. Any judgment that you receive upon your final passing from here now is a pre-judgment. You're going to get a taste of what it's really like when the real thing goes on. And at that time of the judgment, the Creator will let you judge yourself. See, from the age of 13 for boys, 12 for girls, you're responsible for yourself in His eyes. You've learned enough to know right from wrong. And if you do everything for self...
I'll be right back. Just keep talking.
Sure. If you do everything for self, 13 for boys on, 12 for girls on, to death, I'm afraid you're going to make it into the 7 heavens, 7 layers of heaven. He's not going to put up with it. He won't tolerate it. He's not going to take a bunch of rotten apples and keep them in a bushel full of good apples. And so you're cast into the real death, the death that the Bible talks about, the true death. And that's it. It is true hell. As I've explained to you all before, the hell that you go into now, the heaven that you go into now, the staying, if you want to stay as a ghost or whatnot now, is all a form of purgatory. And it really, it only exists in your mind. You're playing on knowledge given to you by church leaders and so on and so forth who want to control you. And if you don't do as I do, or I say rather, you're going to go to this really bad place. And this has slowly integrated the world, most of the world, and so they all believe in this, most of them. Some of them haven't a clue as to it, but very rare. But the true hell is when you are, your soul, which will never die, and putting off and out of God's thought for eternity, never ending, all by yourself. No communication with another bad soul if you want. No communication with dad or your mom or grandfather or wife or husband or best friend. None. You're out of existence to the ones that stay in the true heaven. You don't even exist, but you do. It's continuous. You'll never die, and you burn in this hell just to get back, and it's just going to do you a bit of good. But that is the true hell of the true death that the Bible talks of. Understand, folks, the great Creator has taken me, had me go to, and has, kind of pushed, led, surrounded me into the Hades that we all hear about here. Many times. I could not even venture how many times to do a work down there. Jesus, he was down there for 3 days. Upon his death, he went to Hades. And I go down at command. Boy, no place I want to go just tra-la-la-ing around. And there's no place for self and ego to do something like that. And I go down there and do what I'm supposed to do, and then back. And I've been to heaven, the true heaven, numerous times. Again, I don't know how many times, but many. Not as many as I've been to hell. I guess maybe I'm destined to go to hell. I don't know. But nevertheless, I've been to the true heaven, and I've been to the purgatory heaven. And it might surprise some of you people. You know, the Egyptians, they had their bluebird men that take you across the river, sphinxes and stuff like that. It exists. It is real. Because people have believed it to be real. And this Hades that you hear about here is real. Because you've been believing it's real. Thoughts are real, and you die with those thoughts, and you're stuck there unless you wise up. And the Indian, my other blood side, they believed, and some truly still do, that there is a great hunting ground. It is real. I've seen all these places I'm talking about, taken to them and showing them. And a lot of the, well, not a lot, but I mean, on occasion, I have to do exorcisms and things like that. And you'd be surprised how many Indians are revengeful and doing some pretty nasty work. They're going to stay and get even for what somebody did to somebody of their clan or family. But I do a form of exorcism, which is nothing, basically, in most cases, hear me, most, is basically sitting down and reasoning with them. And the last one I did was in New Mexico here last summer. And it took me 3 days and almost all the nights of those 3 days to reason this one out and to bring this vindictive dead man, Indian, to realize that, he was only 4 or 5 when his family was wiped out by a white man. And, really too young for mom or dad to explain good and bad, happy hunting ground and stuff like that. He was just too young. He hadn't quite reached the age where